If you are wondering what this Prophet TB Joshua cult documentary is all about, then let me tell you that it is an investigation by the BBC Africa, and the investigation suggests that the celebrated man of God was probably not the kind of person you thought he was. Have you ever wondered about the thin line that separates faith from fanaticism? Today we're going to tiptoe on that line as we explore a subject that's as intriguing as it is controversial: the TB Joshua cult. It's a tale that has stirred up a whirlwind of emotions and sparked endless debates. But we're not here to provide answers. We're here to give you the facts and leave you to draw your own conclusions. Let's delve into the 10 things to take from the TB Joshua cult documentary. Firstly, we must consider the power of belief. It's a formidable force that can shape our perceptions and guide our actions. In the case of TB Joshua, it was this potent energy of belief that drew multitudes to him. People, fueled by their faith, were willing to overlook any negatives, any potential harm, and follow him blindly. They saw in him a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in their lives. The strength of their belief was such that it overshadowed any incongruities, any inconsistencies. But it's crucial to remember that belief can be a slippery slope. It can lead us astray as much as it can lead us towards enlightenment. It can become a tool of manipulation, a means to exert control. Such was the case with TB Joshua's followers. Their belief, their faith, became their vulnerability. Belief in this case becomes a double-edged sword. Secondly, let's examine the manipulation tactics employed. TB Joshua, like many cult leaders, was a master manipulator. He had an uncanny ability to understand the human psyche, and he used this knowledge to his advantage. One of his most effective tactics was the use of fear. He painted a world full of dangers, with himself as the only beacon of safety. This fear was then used as a leash, keeping his followers close and obedient. Another method he used was the promise of salvation. He presented himself as the only path to enlightenment, the only way to escape the hardships of this world. This promise kept his followers hopeful and attached. Furthermore, he cultivated an environment of dependency, making his followers believe they needed him for their survival, both physically and spiritually. Manipulation is a key tool in the arsenal of cult leaders. It's how they gain power, maintain control, and keep their followers in line. Thirdly, we mustn't ignore the role of religion. TB Joshua, like many cult leaders before him, cleverly exploited religious sentiments for his own ends. He understood that religion can be a powerful motivator, a binding force that brings people together under a shared belief system. Using his charisma and alleged spiritual powers, he convinced thousands that he was a conduit for divine intervention. He preyed on their faith, their hope, and their desperation, bending their religious convictions to his will. In this way, he gained not only followers but also unquestioning obedience and control. It's a chilling reminder of how a person's deeply held beliefs can be manipulated and used against them. Religion, in its purest form, is about love, compassion, and community. But in the hands of a manipulator like TB Joshua, it was twisted into a tool for exploitation and control. Religion, when twisted, can lead to devastating outcomes. Fourthly, we take note of the lure of hope. In our exploration of the TB Joshua cult, we cannot overlook what drew many to its fold: the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Hope, in its purest form, thrives in the hearts of people. It's a beacon, a light guiding us through our darkest days. However, in the hands of a manipulative entity, it can be twisted into a tool for control. This cult, like many others, played upon the hopes and dreams of its followers. It promised healing, prosperity, and a life free from the burdens that weighed them down. It painted a picture of a world where their deepest desires could become their reality. This promise, enticing as it was, proved irresistible to many. It's a stark reminder of how hope, when manipulated, can lead us down a path we never intended to tread. Hope, it seems, can be a dangerous allure. Fifthly, the impact on the followers is significant. This impact is not just spiritual, but it stretches into the realms of psychology, finance, and physical well-being. The psychological aspect is perhaps the most profound, as followers are often left grappling with feelings of betrayal, disillusionment, and a deep sense of loss that can take years, even decades, to fully recover from. Financially, many followers find themselves in dire straits, having given large sums of money, often their life savings, to the cult in the belief of gaining spiritual rewards. This financial ruin is coupled with the physical toll, as some followers neglect their health and well-being in their pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. The damage is not always immediate, but it's insidious and long-lasting. The followers, who were once hopeful seekers, become victims of manipulation and exploitation. The price of following such leaders is often high. Sixthly, let's scrutinize the power dynamics within the cult. The structure of this cult was a masterful web, with T.B. Joshua at its center. His power was absolute, maintained through a careful balance of fear and adoration. Followers saw him as a divine conduit, their faith in him unshakable. This gave him immense influence over their actions and decisions. In this realm, power was not shared or distributed. It was hoarded, protected, and used as a tool of control. Joshua was not just a leader, he was the oracle, the judge, the final authority. His words were not questioned, they were obeyed. This is a common trait in many cults. The leader's authority is absolute, their words divine, their actions beyond reproach. This power dynamic allowed Joshua to exercise control over his followers, shaping their lives to fit his vision. Power, when unchecked, can lead to tyranny. Seventh, we must consider the role of social media. This digital landscape, with its vast reach and influence, became a powerful tool for the cult. It enabled them to spread their message far and wide, reaching audiences they could never have touched otherwise. Through carefully curated posts and strategically timed live streams, they controlled their narrative, painting a picture of hope and salvation while obscuring the darker truth. Every like, every share, every comment amplified their reach, drawing more and more individuals into their sphere of influence. The cult's leaders understood the power of social media, and they wielded it with deft precision. They used it to propagate their beliefs, to recruit new followers, and to maintain control over their existing members. In the end, social media was more than just a platform for the cult. It was a conduit for manipulation, a vehicle for their agenda. Social media, it turns out, can be a potent weapon. Eighth, let's look at the aftermath. The unveiling of the cult brought forth a wave of shock and disbelief, a tremor that shook not only its followers but society as a whole. The impact was akin to a ripple effect, reaching far beyond the cult's immediate circle. For the followers, the aftermath was a painful journey of coming to terms with the manipulation they had endured. The psychological toll was immense, with many grappling with feelings of betrayal, guilt, and confusion. It was a harsh awakening from a manipulated reality, a painful process of rebuilding trust and reestablishing one's individual identity. Society at large was left to grapple with the harsh truth of how easily individuals can be swayed by the promise of hope and salvation. The cult's exposure served as a somber reminder of the power dynamics at play in such groups and the potential danger they pose. The aftermath of such cults can be long-standing and devastating. Ninth, we must reflect on the lessons learned. The rise and fall of cults, such as the one led by T.B. Joshua, are not just isolated incidents. They are reflections of societal dynamics, of human needs and desires, and of the power that belief can wield. These events teach us the importance of critical thinking, of questioning authority, and of recognizing the signs of manipulation. They remind us that hope can be a powerful lure, yet it can also be exploited. The role of religion and the impact of social media in such scenarios cannot be overlooked. They both can be tools for both enlightenment and manipulation. Power dynamics within such groups show us how easily individuals can be swayed when they are in a vulnerable state. The aftermath leaves a lasting impact on followers, a wake-up call for society at large. Every dark chapter in history has lessons for us. Let's absorb, learn, and work towards a society that's more aware and resilient. Lastly, what role does society play in all this? The answer is both complex and intriguing. Societal factors often contribute significantly to the rise of cults. Frustrations with the status quo, a sense of disillusionment, or the search for a sense of belonging can make individuals susceptible to the allure of such groups. This susceptibility is further amplified in societies where there is a lack of access to quality education, or where critical thinking is not encouraged. So what can society do to prevent the rise of such cults? The answer lies in fostering an environment that promotes education, open dialogue, and critical thinking. By doing so, we can equip individuals with the tools to question, to think critically, and to make informed decisions. Furthermore, we must also strive to create inclusive communities where everyone feels a sense of belonging. This can help to alleviate the feelings of isolation and disenchantment that often drive individuals towards cults. Society, it seems, has a larger role to play than we often realize. In conclusion, the T.B. Joshua cult documentary gives us much to ponder. We've delved into an intriguing mystery, unmasking the power of belief in the human psyche. It's a tale of manipulation tactics, cleverly wielded under the guise of religion, exploiting the universal lure of hope. We've seen the profound impact on followers, people just like you and me, caught in the whirlwind of power dynamics. It's a stark reminder of how easily one can be swept up, especially in our digital age, where the role of social media is paramount in shaping narratives and influencing minds. We've walked through the aftermath, witnessing the scars left behind, the lives forever altered. Yet it's not all despair. For in the ruins, we find lessons learned, invaluable insights that can aid us in understanding and preventing such occurrences in the future. And finally, we've examined the role of society, our collective responsibility in fostering an environment that allows such cults to thrive. It's a sobering reflection, but one that holds the key to change. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay vigilant. In understanding the mechanisms of manipulation, the allure of false hopes, and the power of unchecked influence, we arm ourselves with the tools to combat such exploitative forces. It's a call to action for each one of us, to be discerning, to question, to challenge. With that, we wrap up our journey into the heart of the T.B. Joshua cult. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay vigilant.